Alright. So, the first thing I think when I see your team comp is that you guys should have a pretty decent split push. You want the Caitlyn and the Vel'Koz because they have really strong wave clear. And so that means that you and the Aurelia should just be able to spend time in the side lanes whenever you have the opportunity. But for that to work, one of you needs to be pretty strong. Because Kale's pretty strong in 1v1s. So you need to be able to deal with her despite her invulnerability. And if you can't, that's one of your lost conditions. Or if the Hecarim just gets so fed that none of you can deal with him, that's a lost condition because then you just can't split push. So you're against Arise. Um, let's see. I hope you know the level 1 Teemo cheese. Because dealing with cheese and executing cheese is a really important part of climbing. You can legit just jack off right here. Like if you walk straight up to lane and you jack off right here, or just right in front of the minion wave where it would be, and this guy walks up when the minion wave comes, he should just fucking die. I can't tell you how many times fucking level 1 Teemo cheeses just kill people. So if you stand up like right here, you probably have a better chance of doing it. Like I'll see if you do it or not, but that's one good way to win lane. Like you just jack off and cheese and hope it works. Especially with Teemo. Teemo's all about the cheese. So see if you do it. Ideally, what happens is this guy comes up here and he tries to clear the wave while you're sitting here invisible, and he uses a Q. And once you see that he took Q instead of W, you can kill him. This looks like a series of unfortunate events for the enemy team. Okay, your Aurelia's fed. It's one of your win conditions. Why'd you do that, Caitlyn? Oh shit, she actually got it. Okay. This is a good start. This is a good start. The Aurelia being fed is really good for your team. Okay. So imagine if you were like right here. You probably would have had a lot better access to him. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I think you'd win this 1v1, even with the minion wave. Because what will happen if he doesn't know what he's doing and you're sitting like right here, is that he's going to start walking away from the minion wave because he's scared of you and he's scared he's going to die. And once you get out of that minion wave, he doesn't win the 1v1 anymore. He doesn't even have a chance because you'll just outdamage him with the ignite. And especially since he took teleport instead of ignite, you win this 1v1. Like you could have ignited and kept going and forced his flash, and he just has to either like back or wait there and pot up. And once he flashes, once Rise flashes, you can just sit here and last hit the wave, and your Aurelia comes top, and then this guy fucking dies. So let's see what you do. But yeah, I think you could have kept going here, and if you had positioned more aggro, you probably could have killed him. Because people get scared and they just walk away from the wave instead of fighting in it. Yeah, you should have kept going early on. Because he has more sustain than you with the 3 pots that he had. Oh, and he gets level 2 first. Yeah. He fucked up the early levels. It shouldn't have been this close at all. And really deciding to go for the crab instead of coming top. Yeah. You needed to commit all in for that cheese because you just kind of came in from the side. Like this is too far. You don't need to sit in the bush. You can sit right here and just turn invisible, and you'll still do tons of damage. You could have killed. This guy can probably kill you once you come out of invis. Yep. Yeah, when you take ignite, you need to go all in for that cheese. So that's why you lost the lane. And just for the record, whenever you're in situations like this, you can look at the other lanes just to see what's going on. So your Aurelia is crossing towards mid. You know she did a weird path where she sort of went bot side, So you know the Hecarim's gonna be up here right about now. What is this Aurelia's pathing? What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Fortunately, this guy gets away. Or this. What is this guy doing? He could have. Does he not have his E? Okay, he got it. Oh my god. This is unlucky. Alright. At this point, you're not going to do anything. Like, if you go mid, nothing's going to happen. You just need to be here, soaking this XP and pushing in the wave. This is good for you, because... Well, it's not good for you, because Ryze has 2 kills. But you should be pushing this wave in. Because at least this way you can get XP, and maybe you can deny a couple creeps from him. But you, like, missed all that XP when you just went over here, trying to respond to the roam. You should have just pushed it in and then warded. That'd have given you a little bit more golden XP. Holy. Oh, did the Aurelia steal his red buff? Is that what happened? Red buff feels bad, man. Good news is this guy has absolutely no wards, and he's low on mana. What is that Ryze ult? She didn't walk over there? Oh my god. She shouldn't have flashed. Oh my god. That's unlucky. That's pretty fucking unlucky. Um, at that point, you shouldn't have tried to follow up with her, because there's not much you can do. Right? You don't have any sort of mobility. And, like, she was going way too ham. She already, like, botched the gank when she didn't move over here to try and follow the ult. Like, she lost a lot of the chances of this gank working when she just didn't follow the ult and jacked off. You're already pretty low. And, yeah, you just shouldn't have followed. You should have let her die on her own. So, Ryze is now unfortunately fed, and he's building a needlessly large rod. Um, yeah. That was a lot of small mistakes. Didn't go all the way in on the early all in. Um, yeah, like you haven't used Ignite at all, which is why that's why you take Ignite on Teemo, by the way, is just to cheese level 1. You should just be able to fuck the guy. And then after that, you snowball and you just repeatedly fuck him every time Ignite comes up. So you need to work on the cheese. Standing up a little bit further, force them off their minion wave. Once they are off their minion wave, they really are going to have a bad time early on. Because they should just die and lose all their HP, and he should have had to back early. He might have panicked and blown a few pots too. But, yeah. That gank was poorly executed. You were both level 4 and he was level 6. If he was a champion with an ultimate that actually did damage instead of moving people, if he was actually like a Renekton or like a Nasus or something like that, if he was any other champion, he would have been able to fuck you both and not die. The only reason he lost that was because, one, he didn't use his ult right. And Well, he didn't really lose it either, but he didn't use his ult right, and he fucking oh my god, he didn't use his ult right, and he's playing Ryze top, which isn't even good right now. But yeah, that could have been a lot worse if this was another champion, because all these mistakes that were made weren't mistakes against Ryze; they were just gameplay mistakes on your part and the jungler's part, mostly your part. Um, And at this point, the game is already looking pretty grim because you guys are going to have a hard time winning team fights unless this Vel'Koz gets really fed. This Vel'Koz is your team fight. Um, and other than that, it's really easy for a lot of these people to interrupt him and disrupt him. So now that both of you split pushers are behind, because you both have two deaths in 7 minutes, 4 deaths total. A big part of your win condition is already very far behind. So. Uh oh. Holy shit, Caitlyn does some damage though. Holy shit. If this Alistar tried to move, okay. Well, your Caitlyn's getting fed at least. That's something. Alright, let's see what's going on up here. Once you have your minions here, you could have walked up. You didn't need to stay that far behind. Like, versus mages, once you have minions near you, you're a lot safer. I mean, obviously, as the AoE, but it's still safer than just not having any minions, and you need to be able to farm, so. So you're watching him walk away. You need to ping. There needs to be pings when Ryze is moving. Ryze is like a TF with his ult. And once he leaves lane, like the second he leaves lane, especially when you watch him walk over this pink ward and over this way, you need to be pinging the shit out of your mid laner. I love this visual bug. But you need to be pinging the shit out of your mid laner right now. Because there's like one direction he's going. I don't think he's going to take a camp. He's not going to walk over here and try and take his race. He's going to try and kill this guy. Yeah, you needed to ping. And you could have saved this guy. And I know he should be watching and doing this himself, but communication is a really important part of just climbing in general. Like, the more you ping, the more you not necessarily talk to your teammates, but just communicate with them and let them know who uses their ult, who uses their summoners, who's moving, who's missing. Like, that's very important. And you could have saved this guy if you'd pinged him. He should know, but you can prevent it on your own, too. So. In this case, I probably would have gone for some early MR of some sort. Um, I think Teemo builds Wit's End. You can also just build components of, what's it called? Abyssal, even if you wanted to. Because, like, this guy's just fucking you so hard. And he doesn't need to. You need to build defensively when you're losing. Like, right now, this Amp Tome is doing nothing for you at all. It would be much more useful if you had a Negatron or something else. Because You're not really doing anything with that damage that you wouldn't be doing otherwise. Most important thing is just not dying, and that would let you get some more CS. Also, you're having trouble kiting the CS. Or hitting the CS. Holy shit, Caitlyn does some fucking damage. Why the fuck does she keep cleansing? Why does she have cleanse? There's so much that's confusing about this bot lane right now. Okay. So, right now, you should be pinging that Ryze is missing, because he should be back to lane by now. So this guy needs to be worrying again, because this Ryze has already shown that he likes skanking mid lane, right? So you should be pinging the shit out of this guy. Oh, she shouldn't have stopped. You're lucky that this ward saw him, but you need to ping more, like when your laner is Mia. Because the other way that you win the game, it's not just about winning your lane, it's also about affecting the rest of the map somehow, right? So this Ryze is already fed. He doesn't get much from just sitting here and fucking you repeatedly over and over again, unless he builds a Magi's. What he does get something from is roaming. So once your laner gets ahead, you need to make sure that he doesn't get the rest of his team ahead. You also need to not try and take the minion wave, Kappa. But you need to make sure that he doesn't get the rest of his team ahead, because he's just gonna... That's how you win the game. It's not winning your lane, it's about winning the rest of the lanes too. And you fight that by pinging. You can stop him from winning the rest of the lanes, and you can stop the rest of your lanes from losing if you do that. Oh, you're dead. Oh, never mind. She's probably gonna die too. Does she have any MR? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh my god, she has no clue how this ult works. Realm Warp. Oh, she actually got him though. He's a potato. Okay, so Caitlyn's pushed down a turret. Now the Vel'Koz should rotate bot, the bot lane should rotate mid, and they can just siege this tower. And it'll be harder for the asshole that's top lane to gank him. Just for the record, like, since you're communicating with this Caitlyn, since you're both, I assume you're both communicating since you have the same tag. That's what you should try and do after this. You should have the bot lane go mid and the mid lane go bot. Because Vel'Koz can safely clear bot lane for the rest of his life. He doesn't need any help doing that. He's one of those lucky few champions. And then bot lane goes mid, and because there's two of them, the fucking mid laner can't do much versus them, and the top laner can't do as much versus them. And that way you can work on sieging this mid turret too. And because the Vel'Koz has all that wave clear, he shouldn't die either. She shouldn't have flashed. Oh my god. Alistar is giving me AIDS. Ward? No. Don't need to. Alright, what's going on top? Okay, this guy dies. That's good. He overcommitted. He got the tower, but it's not really worth it for him. It's not like it's tower first blood or anything like that. It's worth a lot more for you because you just shut that guy down. And that's so much gold. So let's see what you do with it. So you're getting the Pen Teemo build. Yeah. Build, if you're going to go with like AP Teemo, build an Abyssal Scepter. You're going to be close enough to use it. Well, yeah, when you're autoing people, not when your shrooms hit people, but when you're autoing people. And this fucking Ryze, just, you can't let him keep doing what he's doing to you. If he had decided to play properly and just slowly whittle the turret down and then maybe like all in you and then take the turret, you wouldn't have been able to do anything there. You wouldn't have gotten that shutdown gold if he wasn't a potato. Like, really greedy potato. So. Yeah, just get some MR. You really need some MR. Or whatever MR item works for Teemo, you should get. Like, you're the one that plays Teemo. I don't play a lot of Teemo, so I don't know if Abyssal is like straight garbage for some reason. Okay. Holy, this Caitlyn. Doing work. Oh, oh, oh! Okay, you got the turret in response, which is good. This is what you should be doing right now. Because you're not really going to do much mid. Um, why does your Vel'Koz have Ignite? There's so many questionable summoners in this game. Mechanics. Off the chain. This Sona. The legend. If you don't want to do the early cheese, and you just want to 1v1 people, you can take Exhaust too. Exhaust is better than Ignite for 1v1ing people. Most of the time. It works for a lot of auto-based champions that don't burst people. I know Yasuo takes it all the time in mid lane, and it's much better than Ignite on him. So if you just want a 1v1, you could try taking Exhaust. But if you want to cheese, you should take Ignite, and you should start further up. Alright, I'll stop talking about that, though. Let's see how the rest of this game works. Yeah. So you guys should have pretty decent objective control with Teemo. Because you should just be able to shroom everything. Right now they don't really need you for this. I just put more shrooms down. Get more zoning. You want more control over this? It's not on cooldown. Okay, it probably was on cooldown. Oh, you don't want to get up that close. Oh, she's wasted. Oh, feels Sona heals, man. I wonder this person plays Sona. They would be bronze if they didn't. Kappa. Alright. These cleanses. Dying a little bit. Vel'Koz just needs to clear the wave, and these people need to back him up. Okay, that's a little too ham. Oh. Holy shit, this rise. Oh, Caitlyn. You're still pushing, which is good. I hope they're not yelling at you for this, because this is actually what you should be doing, is taking these towers and getting some gold. The problem comes after you get this turret, because now you need to affect the map in another way, because you're not going to be able to push this inhib very reliably. You could have stayed in there. Oh wait, no, never mind. What you probably should have done is you probably, like, once you knew they were there, you should have just stayed in there and gone invisible. And since Sona didn't have ult, there was no way they could find you. And you would have lived. Like, you just needed to wait for them to stop thinking you were there, and then you could have backed. And Teemo gets away with a lot of shit like that. That's why he can split push. He has shrooms that act as wards that also slow people that are coming, which you probably should have placed over here, by the way, when you're pushing up this far. I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference in this case, but you should have, like, some over here. And your team's getting a dragon for it. But you can get away with shit like that by just hiding in the bush. So don't forget that. Team got a dragon. So far, this is pretty winnable. With how behind you are, I don't know if you're going to be the one who does it. Okay, now you're getting some MR, which is good. But you should have done this earlier. You needed this Negatron cloak early on in lane. That could have prevented like 2 of your deaths after the first one. Well, 2 of your deaths. 1 of your deaths. Kappa. Could have gotten a lot more CS too. Like this Rise, because he's roaming all the time, you'd have so much more CS if you were just able to be further up in lane and not take as much damage. Um. Yeah, now you just need to be like shrooming up objectives. Like you should have a bunch of them around Baron. That should be your goal at least. Push in the wave, hope no one comes top. Yeah, like you see all these people bot right now. You have a pretty good opportunity to shroom up Baron. Because that's what the enemy team is going to try to do. Eventually. You're not really doing anything here. You should just like stay top or go to another side lane. Your team has more than enough wave clear to be here. Like your Caitlyn has the damage, your Vel'Koz has the damage. They should never be able to push you guys in. This is a time where you should just be top, setting up shrooms for your top split push. Because you're not really doing anything. Holy fucking damage. Yeah. Oh, feels bad. But yeah, look at how big this wave is. Like, yeah, they got engaged on there, but you didn't really do anything. There's nothing you could have done to prevent that because you're fucking Teemo. If you were top lane split pushing, like you'd be pressuring an inhib tower. They wouldn't pressuring an inhib tower. They wouldn't be able to take this tier 2. And this Rise, like if you had set up, if just taken your time and set up all the shrooms top lane and been split pushing, that Rise would have walked over like 2 of them or 3 of them, depending on how you put them. But instead, that whole wave is gone. That whole wave was just wasted, and you had all the like that wave would have been at this inhib tower, killing it with you. They would have been so fucked. That would have been a bad trade for them. You probably could have gotten the inhib tower in that case because they were all grouping mid. Nice. Yeah, another big wave is top lane. And you almost need to be top lane since you don't have TP. Oh, that's some damage. But yeah, since you don't have TP, you almost need to be top lane. That's probably the worst part about this comp, is because the Aurelia is the only other split pusher. She can't, like, neither of you can go bot. Because Aurelia needs to be at Baron. If something goes wrong. That hurts. Oh, he should have gone on her. Ah, no, that probably wouldn't have worked with the bitch there. Oh, she got him. Okay. Oh, she still has ult, right? If you keep autoing her, the poison will eventually get her, hopefully. Alright. So that was a good time to group because you just caught all of them. Oh, oh, oh! Oh, that Vel'Koz was so slow with the Z. He would have been fucking dead. Oh, she's gone. Apparently not. Yeah, you just need to get out of here right now. Like, once you lost all that pressure... Yeah, once you lost all that pressure mid, with everyone having to back, it's probably just better to, like, set up wards somewhere in back. Leave a couple shrooms, maybe, so they don't just walk towards Baron for free. What dragon is coming up? Wind. Yeah. You probably could have split push top in that scenario, or mid in the bot. Ugh, the other lane, the only other lane I didn't list. Because you had this big wave building. It was building like a couple minutes ago right here. This Sona just loves to cleanse everything. Alright, that's pretty bad. But oh, you... Yeah. That's unlucky. What? Oh, this is just unlucky. You're all getting picked off. Okay, at this point, like after your jungler and your mid laner both died, there's no way you're gonna win. Like, there's no way you're gonna get control over this dragon. You should be topside, split pushing instead. Because this way it lets you set up around Baron. Because right now you're at such a disadvantage since you just lost your top laner and your mid laner. You want to get this control over Baron, and you can't stay bot side, right? Because all of them are there, and you just lost your jungler and your mid laner, so there's no way you can contest the dragon at all. So. Like right now you're not accomplishing anything. But I guess they're just going to let you all come back up. And you still don't accomplish much by... You still don't accomplish much by being here. If you were top right now, it'd be so much more useful. Okay. Because you shouldn't be fighting this in the first place. Holy Caitlyn. Off the chain. Alright, I guess if they throw like this, anything is possible. Alright, yeah. Especially now, after you got this ace. Like, you should have just backed and gone straight top and gotten this massive wave and shroomed up around Baron. You already have quite a few. And you already have... Yeah, these shrooms are pretty set up for you to be top anyway. So... Is there a hard limit on Teemo? I don't actually know off the top of my head. Okay, there is no hard limit. So yeah, you should just be... Alright, so what side should you split push right now? I would probably go bot. If I were you. I mean, top would be the easiest since you already have all your shrooms there. But... Yeah. Bot is slow pushing for you, but it'll take a while. Yeah, right now you're not doing anything at all. You're just kind of sitting around. And Caitlyn and Vel'Koz should be doing... Like, they can sit here because they just wave clear. That's what they're doing. You, on the other hand, like, you need to be doing something with your time. You should be, like, off to the side, looking to shroom up and set up your split push down here because this wave is slow pushing for you guys. And that means it's going to build up and it's going to get really fucking big. And if they decide to go for Baron or something like that, you're going to take an inhib off of it. Because this wave is going to be massive. Yeah. Same thing with top right now. Top is getting pretty big too. But yeah, you're like not doing anything here. Like they should lose this because they're A-ramming, they should just lose because you should be off split pushing somewhere. Ooh, Teemo shrooms feel bad, man. Oh my god, is he gonna push him into your entire team? Yeah. Oh. Unlucky. Yeah, you guys should just wave clear and let one of you two split push. Like if Aurelia had gone top and you had gone bot, you'd have had both of these waves and then Vel'Koz and all them can sit mid and just clear waves. And it's fine to call for that. Like this is the perfect comp for a split push. It's as good as you can get in solo queue, I suppose. But look at these waves. Look at these waves that you two could have been at. And you're just not using your comp, right? And now they're getting vision in your jungle. Yeah, if these guys had been playing better, this game wouldn't have been as close either, because they'd have vision all inside of your jungle, and they'd have had it for a long fucking time. And all your shrooms are just, like, not in good spots right now. You're not gonna have a lot of people walk over this unless Dragon's up. Oh, are you guys actually gonna get this? That would be a meme and a half. You guys can finish it. You should just finish it. Okay, you guys get it? Holy Teemo damage. Okay. Push an inhib. One of you needs to back to clear. That should probably be Caitlyn. Or Vel'Koz. Oh no, Vel'Koz should do it. Because you need Caitlyn to siege the towers, but you need to be pushing a wave with this. Like, you shouldn't be chasing her. This is so useless. Like, one of you guys should have turned back. This should have been you. You should have turned back, you should sit at this wave, and you should auto the shit out of it and push it. You guys are just wasting time chasing her. It's already hard to catch Kayle with her heal speed up bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, you should have pushed a wave, or if it wasn't going to work out, like if they were going to spawn too soon, you could have been like setting up around Dragon and getting another one. Right now, because you guys chased her, you don't have either of those things going for you. The waves aren't pushing in. Like, this is pushing into you guys, isn't it? Huh? No, it's pushing for you. A little bit, yeah. It's pushing for you. This is dangerous to do without your jungler, by the way. You still got it. It's lucky. Okay, but now there are no objectives on the map. You guys can just split push your way to victory. This Vel'Koz just doesn't know how to position. This is a big fucking throw. Holy shit, this Caitlyn is trying, man. Unlucky. They could probably just walk mid and end the game right now. Like, if they knew what they were doing, they would just walk mid and use the super and take the fucking Nexus, because you guys aren't going to be up in time. Oh, they're gonna end it this way anyway. Yeah, imagine if they had walked mid. Okay, so this game. Oh no, it's still gonna go on for another minute. This rises ults though. I love it. Alright, yeah, this game was kind of fucked at this point. There's no way you can come back because you just don't have pressure anymore. Split push comps rely on pressure, and you lose so much pressure once you get an inhib down. That's why split push comps end up losing a lot of times, because if the enemy team just gets the inhib, like can't do anything. You don't have the pressure anymore because you're gonna be pushed into your side of the map no matter what. So I'll just start and I'll run through the game from yeah. So walk up, cheese like right fucking here, right? Because if you're right here, he's not gonna see you. You cheese right here. You wait for him to fucking hit the wave with something. Especially at this elo, most people are dumb enough that they will not wait to skill something. This guy had E this whole time. If you were standing here, he E'd the wave, so you knew what he had, but he probably took E anyway. You stand here, and he's gonna run away. You just fucking auto the shit out of him, and he either flashes and dies, or flashes. He might just flash and die, like depending on how long he waits to do it. But if you just stand up a little further and you wait for this guy to do something, and you just start autoing him, 9 times out of 10, especially at this elo, they're just gonna walk away, and that means the minions stop aggroing you, and you can ignite him, and you can auto the shit out of him, and he either flashes or he dies. And he might flash and die, depending on how bad he is. And this guy wasn't that good, to be honest. Like, he had a lot of potato moments, but he also had, he just outroamed you. That was the other thing. So, this is your first fuck up. Just cheese the shit out of him. No one cares if you cheese, right? This is ranked. You're tryharding. You cheese the shit out of everyone you meet. Next. Ping the shit out of people. You need to ping the shit out of your lane whenever they roam, especially if they have some sort of ultimate that lets them get places very quickly, or just some ability that lets them do that. People like LeBlanc, people like Twisted Fate, people like Aurelion Soul, people like Rise, people like fucking who else does it? Even like Ari, because she has that move speed and she has so many dashes to just catch up with people. People like, what's the top laner that does that? I don't know off the top of my head actually, other than other than Rise. But you need to watch Aurelia. Actually, is a top laner that you need to ping the shit out of because she has a lot of mobility with her Q. But you need to ping the shit out of your laner and communicate with your team. Just think about what needs to happen in this game for you guys to win. Like, you guys tried to team fight against this comp, and because they were really bad mechanically, really fucking bad mechanically, it almost worked out. Because Aurelia got pretty fed, and the Caitlyn got pretty fed, and they weren't focused too hard in team fights, so you guys won a lot of fights. But you need to figure out what your team does. You guys split push, and you guys didn't split push at all. Well, you did a little bit, but you kind of stopped after like mid-game, and you had the power to do it too, right? Especially when they're just grouping as 5. Like if you draw Rise away, how much damage are they missing? That's insane. Like if you draw Rise away, they should just lose, and you should be able to lose Rise too. Like you shouldn't be able to find you, right? Because if someone comes top for you, you just go invisible, and what are they gonna do? They're just gonna they either sit there and jack off and wait for you to come back, or they go back mid, and then you show up again, and then you just start pushing the wave again. But you need to communicate with your team, and you need to figure out what your team comp does. This is a split push comp. This is a really good split push comp because you have Vel'Koz and Caitlyn who can wave clear. This is a team fight comp because their carries shouldn't die. Hecarim should be able to interrupt every time this fucking Vel'Koz ults, which he did fairly regularly. This guy is going to be able to outposition you guys. Like he comes in there with one other person, and he's going to be behind you, and you're going to get caught anytime you're pushed beyond your turrets. And this guy, well, not Lucian, but Kate, or fucking hell, Sona is a team fighter as well because she has all those AoE heals and she has her AoE CC. So these guys should win team fights, and you guys should be able to split push. Right? Ideally what happens is Aurelia pushes top because that's closest to Barian, and you push bot, and the wave should just be always in your favor. And every time they go Mia mid, you guys pull back, mid pushes out, and you just rinse and repeat. Every time you see them mid, you push in the side lanes. Every time you don't see them mid, you pull back and mid pushes. And that should be how this comp works. I fucking love this bug. Recognizing where to be on the map at certain times is something that's hard to do. I can do it out of game. I have a lot of trouble doing it in game myself. At least when it comes to split pushing. That's why I don't play split push champions. But what it's about is just you need to consider what objectives are up, how quickly you can get there, and what waves are pushing in, and where the enemy is. When you split push, it's about setting it up too. It's a lot like roaming when you're split pushing. Is you need to set up vision on the side that you want to go split push on. And you can do that as Teemo because you have all these nice little wards that also do damage and slow people that are called mushrooms. And that's amazing. And you should abuse the shit out of that. There's this guy called MLS. You've probably heard of his coaching, but he also plays Teemo. He's like a Teemo fucking main, and he's in Masters in Korea. Watch that guy play Teemo. He doesn't like build AP Teemo like you do, but the idea of what you do and where you go on the map is the same. You watch that guy and how he just moves around the map, and it will help you a lot. I'm not a Teemo main. I don't main split pushers, but just try to apply pressure somewhere else is the goal. You want to be in side lanes because you weren't contributing a lot. Like if you can't wave clear, grouping up doesn't do a lot for you. That's true for every champion. That's why a lot of top laners now take teleport. It's because they still need to they're still team fighting champions, but they don't have any wave clear. So the only way they get CS is if they sit in a side lane. And taking Ignite, that's the bad part about taking Ignite on Teemo. But the fact is that you have so much wave clear on your team, and your Alistar has so much disengage that you should just be able to sit here in the side lanes anyway. And you could have. There were a lot of opportunities you missed in the late game to just sit in a side lane and split push and soak up farm and soak up pressure. And you could have gotten a lot more done. You probably would have won if you just split pushed instead of grouping. But if your team had engaged like they did, they probably would have lost a lot of team fights, a lot more than they won. But you would have inhibs. Like this inhib would probably be gone if you were split pushing, and this inhib tower would be gone if you were split pushing, and that would have been all you. Like all this gold, all this XP, that all would have been yours if you were split pushing, and you would have been a lot stronger. And just remember that it's not always about how well you do in lane. Like if you're sitting there in the side lane soaking up all that XP and soaking up all that gold, it doesn't matter that Ryze is like getting all these kills for his team, because if he comes top, suddenly he realizes that he's like 30 CS down on you and you have like 4 levels on him. Or not 4, but probably 2. And it's a lot harder for him to win. You probably could have actually 1v1'd him once you got later in the game. So, yeah. This was a very winnable game, but you needed to play to your comp's strengths. So, and communicate that with your team. So that's the most important thing. The most important thing in league is communication, because unfortunately it is a team game. It's not season 3 where you can pick LeBlanc and solo carry, but you need to communicate. And you need to say, okay, guys, we are a split push team. We have a fucking Aurelia and a Teemo, and we have all the wave clear in the world inside of Vel'Koz and Caitlyn. So you guys just sit mid, we'll sit in the side lanes, and we'll win this fucking game. And you would have. And it's okay to say that, right? Because you're correct. That's true. And on the other hand, that's a team fighting team, and you don't want to team fight against them. So just say things like that. It's important to note that you can team fight when you're ahead, right? But in this game, you guys weren't really ever too far ahead. Like, you were ahead in some scenarios, but not enough where it's just like, okay, guys, we're just so fed that if they group 5v5, they'll lose because we have better stats. And a lot of those team fights that you guys won wasn't because you guys were ahead in gold. It was because they just mechanically misplayed. You need to be like 1 or 2 items ahead of the enemy team. Like, as a whole team, you need to be like 3,000 to 6,000 gold ahead in order to just out-team fight them when you're not a team-fighting team. Because you need 1 more item. And once you have 1 more item overall, that's usually enough for your team to just, do everything better than the enemy team. But you weren't. So, yeah. Good luck in the future. I'm not the best top laner. I hope this helps you a little bit. Um, yeah, good job. Yeah, you almost had it. Almost had it. Kappa.